everyone. Good Friday to everyone here, and Selamat Hari Raya Haji to all our Muslim viewers. Okay, and here I am, right? I'm celebrating Hari Raya Haji as well. That's why I'm wearing my baju kurung today. Okay, waiting for my mom's rendang to finish, which is almost about done. So once we are done with this webinar, I'm gonna dive into makan and rendang. Right? For all of us out there looking at this webinar. Hey, welcome to this webinar once again. And today we're going to talk about Zoom. You guys have seen me. Some of you guys might have seen me last week. Okay, and when we talk about the basic functionalities of Zoom, the viewers last week was so awesome that, you know what, that we decided to do another Zoom session immediately because you guys were really asking fantastic questions. And I wanted to answer those questions in a formal webinar like what we're having today. Okay, so we scheduled one during, I think, the roadshow and on a Friday. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this webinar. Now, as always, let us start our webinar by asking a question. Okay, remember the first question I asked you guys, right? In the first webinar that we had. Those of you who missed that webinar, you know, you can still get hold of it on the Facebook site. It's basically Zoom, and it's the fundamentals of Zoom, how to get started. Today's webinar is going to be a bit more advanced, right? Based on the questions and input that we've gotten in the first webinar. Okay, so in the first webinar, I asked about which platform you guys use most often. In my second webinar, I'm going to ask a slightly different question. Now, if you guys are Zoomers, and Zoomers are what they call people who use Zoom often, how often do you use Zoom? So when was the last time you used Zoom? Okay, so option one, was it yes, yesterday? Just yesterday, for hours, I was with Zoom with a couple of friends. Cool, okay? Number two, 1 week ago, you used Zoom about a week ago. Number three, a month ago. Okay, you used Zoom a month ago. And number four, I really cannot remember when was the last time I used Zoom. So, you know, participate in this poll. Let us know when was the last time you have used Zoom. And this question is interesting. You know why? Because based on the answers, I can determine whether this group here are a bunch of Zoomers or not, right? And Zoomers is a term specifically created during this entire season where COVID occurred and things like that, to describe people who are frequently on Zoom. Are our viewers right now, today, are they Zoomers? Are they casual Zoomers? Or are they hardcore Zoomers? Yeah, let's take a look at the questions. Let's think about the answers. Okay, so answer and participate in our poll. When was the last time you used Zoom? Okay, yesterday, 1 week ago, 1 month ago, or I can't remember. Okay, and majority says 1 week ago. Well, if you've used Zoom about a week ago, means you're quite a frequent Zoom user, right? And because you're quite a frequent Zoom user, ladies and gentlemen, I am sure today's webinar will be very interesting for you. What are we going to be covering today? Before we dive into today's topic, for those of you who are new to Zoom, okay, here's an introduction to Zoom. I don't belong to Zoom. I don't work for Zoom. I don't get any kind of commissions from Zoom. I should probably start talking to them, though. I've been marketing them quite a bit. But Zoom is a video conferencing tool, okay? And there are many video conferencing tools out there. You might have heard of Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, you know. But Zoom is one of the most popular video conferencing tools that has occurred, that has been used over the past few months when COVID has hit us and circuit breaker came, okay? So video conferencing means you can talk and you can see each other through your desktop and through your mobile, okay? And that's the Zoom logo, and that's what Zoom looks like. Let me just enlarge the picture. If you've ever been in a Zoom call, you would know this, right? A gallery of faces and all the functions below. And when you speak, you can see people reacting to how what you're talking about also as well. So this is a snapshot of what Zoom is, okay? In my first webinar, we covered on how to get started. If that is your area of concern, catch my first webinar with C3A on the fundamentals of Zoom. Because today, we're going to be advancing a bit more. We're going to be covering two things. First of all, virtual backgrounds. The most popular question out there was, Firdaus, how do I switch on my virtual backgrounds? Okay, and I got lots of emails right after the first webinar also as well on how to activate this feature. And today, finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discover how virtual backgrounds work. Okay, and number two, the second most popular question was, how do you share content? I got PowerPoint slides, I got videos, I got images. How do I share these content with other people in my Zoom call. So we're going to be tackling these two things, virtual backgrounds and how do you share content. And as a bonus to each and every one of you guys out there, because I had a fantastic time in the first webinar, this webinar I'm going to show you how to use these two functionalities on your desktop, on your laptop, and also on your mobile device. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it both on your laptop, desktop, and mobile devices as well. Okay, so if you are ready, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Before we start, just want to let you know, there will be a Q&A segment. Ask me questions right after my segment is over, and I will, as usual, have guides for all of you to download. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'll have downloadable guides for you, which I'm going to share with you right after this entire program. Okay, so ready? Let's start. Let's talk about, first of all, make sure that you got Zoom on your device, be it on your mobile phone or on your laptop. So this was something that I covered in my first webinar. I just want to remind everyone, all right? Zoom can be used on your browser, but for us to be able to use all its functions, it's best for you to download the free application, okay? And this is where you download it, officially from the Zoom site, okay? No freeware, nothing. It's very clean, it's a small sized application as well. So you'll find little problems in downloading it, okay? Let's talk about virtual backgrounds now. Okay, now, so this is me. Okay, this is me. Okay, now recognize the screen. You guys remember the screen? This is what we call the home screen, or some people say the room screen. Anyways, when you start Zoom, this is the first thing that you see, right? If there's no one in the room, yourself, and all the functions at the bottom. So remember this screen. Now, from this screen, right, we are going to click on the video option. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at my video option, right? Okay, there's that one small tiny arrow that goes up. Yeah, when you click that arrow, a list of options comes up. Okay, amongst the list of options is this option which says choose virtual background. You have that? You see that? Now, almost all accounts will have this. Now, which accounts will not have this? If you do not have video, right? Look, if you don't have video, if you don't have a webcam, or your laptop or your desktop does not have a video functionality, you won't be able to activate your virtual background. Because why? Why have a virtual background if they can't see you in the first place? But if you have your video switched on, that function will automatically appear. Okay, so that's started. So remember that. So it's easy as that. Click on that, choose virtual background, and that's what I've done. But oh gosh, and look what has happened. When I click on choose virtual background, this settings screen appears. Okay, now this settings screen can be accessed also as well, right? Not through that function, but through another function. This is where you do all the magic and all the minor tweaks and all. But when you click on that button, right, which is choose virtual background, this thing appears. And sometimes some of you guys might see this. I got this message when I was using it. And just to let everyone know, I'm using a MacBook Air. I'm using, that's my laptop, a MacBook Air. And Zoom is telling me, hey, your processor, which is your computer, is not powerful enough. That's what it's telling me. What do you do when you get this message? If you don't get this message, means your computer is fine. But I'm guessing about 65% of us will run into this problem. Now, what I want you to do is not to worry. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me explain to you, right, step by step what this means. Okay, first of all, the Zoom virtual background works best with a green screen behind you. Okay. And there must be uniform lighting on that screen. Okay, so that Zoom can detect, oh, the background is uniform colored. So I will replace the background with an image. So that's the video functionality of Zoom. Now, Zoom has gone a step further. They said, you know what? For some powerful computers with a powerful chip, if it's fast and the processor is strong, I will not even need a green screen. You don't even need to have a clean, clear, homogeneous colored background behind you. Okay? All you have to do is you have to have a powerful computer. Now, how powerful must your computer be? You can check out the specifications on Zoom. Again, my guides will give you that. But if you have done the previous steps and they say, hey, not powerful enough, means your computer not powerful enough. Does that mean you need to buy a powerful computer? No, okay? What you want to do, okay, is click enable anyway. Okay, I'm going to show you guys that. Okay, but when I say green screen, some of you guys might get, a bit stunted, right? What is green screen, Firdaus? Okay, now let me tell you what green screen means. This is a commercial green screen. That means when they go films, when they take pictures or when they take videos and they want to replace the background with something else, they use what we call a commercial green screen. Okay, you can see this on online shops. Let me tell you, you do not need this. You do not need to buy a commercial green screen. The commercial guys, they use green screens because, I don't know, it's an industry standard. And not many people use green in the foreground, I think, right? For us, when they say green screen, basically you just need to have this, okay? A background with an even color. It can be any color, ladies and gentlemen. It can be an even colored blue, even colored white, even colored red also as well. As long as you've got a background which has got the same color and it's evenly spread out with good lighting, that is our green screen. Get it? Okay. So don't fret. Don't have to find a green screen. You have to buy a new computer with higher processor speed. Virtual backgrounds can still be activated. Okay. Let me show you guys how. Okay. So once I've explained that, okay. So I hope you guys won't get a bit afraid of the terms. And when these things pop up, these are all, things that we can overcome. So I will just click on enable this feature, right? And here we go. You see this, right? Get out. So notice, first of all, notice that my background is the same background as what I'm using because I did it at home, right? It is not of an even color. It's got that plant that I bought from IKEA, I think. And it's got so many things going on, okay? Now, and my computer is not strong enough. So, at the bottom of the settings screen, just look at the bottom. You look at I have a green screen. Click on that. Okay. Click on I have a green screen and choose your virtual background. Okay. And look what happens. Look at me. I'm like, if you watch Star Trek, right, ladies and gentlemen, is that I'm getting phased out. My face is half blurred. Let me ask you a question. Okay. And you don't have to answer it via the chat or via Facebook. If you want, you can. Okay. Why does my face appear to be like this? If you've been paying attention, you will be able to answer the question. Some of our lucky viewers might get my mother's rundown if you get the answer correct. I'm just kidding. I don't have your address. I'm just thinking of the food I'm gonna be eating in the next few minutes. Why? Okay, some of you guys might have guessed it because my background is an uneven color. It is uneven, right? It's made up of a plant in many different colors. And my computer is not powerful enough, even though I said I have a green screen, but actually I don't have a green screen. So that's why when the image is transmitted, I get flashed out like that, I'm like faced out. You're not able to see my face completely. Now, this happens all the time. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are so insistent on using virtual background, but your virtual background is not so sweet and you look like this, it is very distracting for the viewer. So make sure that you get your background sorted out, okay? So what I did was this. So I looked at myself, virtual background not working out. So what I did was this. I moved to a location at my house, another place in my house, and thankfully for me, my wife has got a penchant for the color white. Everywhere in my house is white, which is cool, except for my background right here. So I went to my wall. You can look at this wall, it's all white, right? That's my green screen. That's all white, except for, you guys can see, some of you guys are sharp enough to see on the left-hand side, there's that small gray thing. That small gray thing is my couch, okay? So I did it in my living room, okay? So essentially it is a pure white background, okay? Now let's see whether my virtual background works. Now, look at that. I clicked on the background that I wanted to use and check it out. It works fine, right? It settles very nicely on my white background. So my white background becomes my green screen. It could be a red background, a blue background. So ladies and gentlemen, you choose a background which is even and colored. Except for, if you guys are sharp, take a look at the screen right at the corner there. My couch, which is of gray color, is still not being captured. It's still there, right? Because it's not white. Okay, so if I really want to be particular about it, I'll push my couch and make sure everything is white. So that's how virtual backgrounds work, all right? So I hope I've clarified this. If your computer is not strong enough, it's okay. You need to have a green screen. If you don't have a green screen, it is okay. Green screen means a pure colored background. That's all you need, okay? Now, let's go a bit more on virtual backgrounds. The second most popular question I get often in my webinars is, how do I download virtual backgrounds, Firdaus? And I've seen lots of my learners get very creative about it. Some of them have downloaded Channel 8, drama series virtual backgrounds. There used to be the show that I watched when I was growing up, The King of Gamblers, when you're playing cards, I had one of my learners in my class, they had that casino set up, it reminded me of that. It's crazy. So I know people can get very creative about virtual backgrounds, and that's part of the attraction of virtual backgrounds. How do I download a virtual background? How do I get my own virtual backgrounds? Because Zoom has got their own stock virtual backgrounds. By stock, I mean those are the ones which are common. It's already in every Zoom account. But how about the more unique ones I've seen my friends use? Google is your best friend, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. I tried Googling for virtual backgrounds. I just typed in my Google search box, virtual backgrounds, and the first thing that came out is virtual backgrounds for Zoom. It means to show dozens and dozens and thousands of people are Googling for virtual backgrounds on Zoom. So Google for virtual backgrounds in Zoom, right? Download an appropriate background, okay? There are tons of it. I won't go to a particular website, okay? Go to the same process of downloading an image. Once you've saved a virtual background that you want to use, keep it in your desktop, and this is what you do. Go back to this page. Go back to this page. You remember this page, okay? Click on the plus sign. See that plus sign there, right? When you click on the plus sign, it will bring you to which folder do you want to search for? Do you save your image on desktop? Do you save your image on, on a particular folder? For me, I save my image on desktop, and this was the image I chose. I think it's like a space capsule. I've always wanted to be an astronaut, right? So, so maybe I wanted my virtual background to look like a space capsule, So that's that, okay? And I click on that, I click on open, and you can see it's automatically downloaded, okay? And but then again, if I choose that virtual background, look at me, I'm still faced out. Why? Because I'm using my old background. It's not a green screen. It's not of a uniform color. So that's why my face gets mixed up in the entire thing. Okay, all right. So that's how easy it is for you to download a virtual background and put it into your Zoom account. Okay, all right. So I hope I've cleared virtual backgrounds. Okay, and you're clear about virtual backgrounds. Again, in order for you to get good at this, do it. Okay, I've got guides and I can help you along the way. I want to talk about virtual backgrounds on iOS. iOS stands for the Apple operating system. Okay, now, first off, now if you're wondering why iOS, now virtual backgrounds on mobile is only currently supported for Apple products, for Zoom, only currently supported for Apple products. So which means if you got a Samsung like me, you won't be able to use virtual backgrounds on Zoom, right? If you've got like an Oppo phone, you can't. Only Apple products are supported for virtual backgrounds to be activated on Zoom. So remember that. When I talk about Apple products, I mean iPhone, iPad. So those two types, okay? Another thing also as well, for these Apple products, you do not need a green screen. So you don't have to ensure that you got a green screen, all right? For some reason, the Apple processor, right, which is in these products, are strong enough so that you don't need a green screen. So that's one of the advantages of using virtual backgrounds on mobile phones, specifically on Apple products. Okay, so if you've got an Apple phone, an iPhone, or an iPad, this is how you can activate virtual backgrounds on your mobile device. This is what. So I tried it on my iPad. I also have an iPhone, right? I also have a Samsung. Actually, the iPhone belongs to my wife, so I used hers. This is her device, right? So so look at that. Okay, if you click, this is what it looks like. This is your home screen. Remember, our home screen for mobile looks a bit differently because your mobile screen is smaller. Okay, so that's why they don't want to pack so many functions. Most of the functions are in the More button. 3 dots. It says More. You see it there. Click on those 3 dots. The listing comes up, right? Again, click on virtual background. The background options appear at the bottom right now. And notice my background. My background is not a homogeneous green screen. I choose one of these things. And look at that. It looks fine, doesn't it? All right. No green screen. And I just choose a virtual background and background selected and done. Voila. That's all. It's as simple as that. Okay. Okay. So That's how we use virtual backgrounds on our laptops, on our desktops, and also on our mobile phones, specifically on our Apple devices. Because apart from Apple devices, Zoom has not made virtual background available to the other Android devices. Okay, I'm not sure when they're going to make it available. I'm looking forward to them making it available also as well, because I use the Samsung one. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've covered virtual backgrounds, and now we're going to dive into part 2 of our advanced Zoom webinar. Let's talk about sharing content. Okay, now one of the key advantages of using Zoom is the ability for you to share content. Very nifty function, especially if you're in class, especially if you're in a meeting. Hey, I've even shared content as I'm Zooming with a couple of friends. Yeah, right. I just show them pictures of where I've went, and things like pictures of my new things that I bought. So, share content is really a useful tool. Okay, now how do you enable it? This screen, ladies and gentlemen, right? Your home screen, your Zoom screen, whatever you want to call it. And maybe if this is a regular thing, we should call a name for it. Give me a nice name that we can call this thing. Let's call it a Zoom screen. Okay, right? So if you guys can agree on it, at least we can call it the same terminology. You and I, we both created similar terminologies now. Zoom screen is this. This is your starting screen. This is your home screen. And you see a share screen function there. Okay. Now, regardless of whether you've got the paid account or free account, you have the ability to share content. Just want to repeat again. Regardless of whether you've got the paid account or the free account, you still have the ability to share content or share screen, call it. That's a basic functionality. Similarly, for virtual backgrounds also as well. Regardless of whether you've got a paid account or free account, virtual backgrounds are made available to everyone. So it's a basic functionality as well. Now, click on share screen. Now, when you click on share screen, you might not be able to share. And why does that happen? Now, it depends on some security settings. Let me give you guys a quick overview of this. If you are the host, and we covered host and guest, remember in the last webinar, sorry, right? If you are the host, you have got complete control of this particular meeting. Complete control means you even allow or disallow people to share screens, right? How do you allow another person to share a screen if you are the host? Well, I'll just make the person a co-host, right? And hence the person has got similar powers like me. And why does that work? Why does it work like that? It's a security function. Imagine if everyone in the room has got the same ability as the host, it'll be a chaotic room, right? It will look like, everyone's fighting in the room. Everyone can kick each other out. So that's why you've got the security function, okay? So if you are the host, remember, if you want to let someone else share, ensure that you click and make sure that the guy who wants to share is the co-host. Now, so second, if you are a guest, and you're entering into a Zoom room and you click on share screen and you can't share screen, it says disable. What do? You talk to the host and chat with him and say, hey, bro, make me a co-host. Well, then he knows that you're a Zoomer. Or give me permission to share screen, because only the host can give you permission to do that. So remember that, okay? So if you're the guest and you can't share screen, it is not your fault. It is a security setting. Ask the host to give you permission. Hey, and if the host doesn't know how to give you permission, ask the host to watch our videos. Yeah, right? Okay. So once you click on share screen, what do you do next? Okay, so let's go to this. Immediately when you click on your share screen button, a selection of screens pop up. Okay, so look at this. These are all the screens that I have opened on my laptop, which is a MacBook Air, right? There you guys get out. So only open windows will pop up. What I mean, if it's open, I can see it. If it's not open, I won't be able to see it. So for example, in this particular demonstration, I've opened my PowerPoint slides. I've opened Spotify, which some of you guys might know, which is a music app. I've opened my Chrome, which is my internet browser. I've even opened up a folder and another PowerPoint. Only open windows are displayed here, which also gives us a very important tip. If you want to share anything on Zoom, first and foremost, make sure that it is open first. Make sure that it's open, okay? make sure that the screen or the PowerPoint slides or the video or the image, make sure you open it first, because if you don't open it first before you want to share it on Zoom, it won't appear. So the steps again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to share something, make sure you find the thing that you want to share, open it, it pops up, leave it there, go to Zoom, click on share screen, this window appears, and you can choose which window you want to share. Simple? All right, now. So I've chosen to share a PowerPoint slide. Okay, so look here, this is what it looks like. Okay. Hi, I am sharing a presentation. That's what people see. So you see the screen right at the bottom, right, the top right corner there. That's me, right? That's me. So you can see my face. I can see my face. This is what I'm seeing. I can see my face and I can see my content. Now, this is, of course, because I'm alone in the room. If you look at the video of me, if there are like people in the room, that video, that box there, will be filled up with many boxes of other people in the room. Okay, because I'm the only people in the room when I was doing this demonstration, that's why only my face appears. But you'll be able to see more windows as there are more guests that appears. You can also make sure that you disable some of these functions as you are trying this out. You want to get into a view which you're comfortable with. But this is the first things you see. This is default setting. Okay, so you see it. Most important thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is you see the green bar which says that you are screen sharing. That's an indicator that you are sharing the screen. And the red bar next to it, which is stop share, extremely important, because why? If you want to stop sharing the screen, click on stop share. Okay, and then you go back to your default screen. Okay, so default face. So remember that. So it's as easy as that. The green button, the red button, stop share, you go back to your original face, which is you yourself speaking. Now, this time I want to share a YouTube video. So I've got a YouTube video that I want to share. Okay. Now, do the same thing, share screen, the whole window will appear, all the open windows will appear, and I click on Google Chrome. See, so that's where my YouTube video is. Now, this is something that a lot of people fail to do. Look at the bottom of this window and check these two boxes, which says share computer sound and optimize screen share for video clip. Make sure you've got these two boxes ticked and checked in order for you to share a video. If not, the participants or the viewers cannot hear your video. And a lot of people, when they make this simple mistake, they don't tick this box here. Now, the second box, which is optimize screen share for video clip, that is a good to have function, because the graphics are, the resolution of the graphics is redesigned or reframed in such a way by which it makes your video streaming smoother. If not, it'll be a bit more laggy, choppy, and there are a lot of blocks there. It won't look so nice. So these two things, these two boxes are essential, right, when you want to share a video in order for viewers to hear your video and see your video nicely. Check these two boxes. Now, look, if you're not sharing any video, you do not have to check these two boxes. Okay, right? So I check these two boxes. There we are. Same thing that appears. My video, my YouTube screen appears, and it so happens it was our first NSA nuggets. Okay, so there's that, right? Check it out. It's on YouTube also as well. Only 17 views. Ayo, push that number up a bit, So that's me, okay? And then you see me also as well on the top right hand. That's you talking. All you have to do is just play the video, make it bigger, and the video will run. Okay, all right? So that's how you share videos on YouTube. Click those two check boxes. This is the most important thing. Okay, so that's easy. Sharing content is easy. Okay, share content. That's how you do it. Okay, videos, share content. Make sure you have the video and audio enabled. Now let's see how it's done on an Android. Android means on your Samsung tablets, your Oppo phones, your Huawei, whatever it is. Those that are using the Android iOS. Android operating system. Okay, so let me show you how it looks like. Okay, so this is me on my Samsung phone. So I got on my Samsung phone, right? And this is my Zoom screen. This is the first screen that I see. I touch on share. Okay, simple. Options appear. The options are different from the desktop version, ladies and gentlemen. right? Because again, the desktop version gives you the full functionality. The mobile version gives you a selection of things because you've only got the limited space. So I will check, okay, I will say, okay, I want to share a photo, which I did, okay? I click on photo and I choose the folder. Automatically, it brings me to a folder. The folder, I click on the folder, and this is the folder, and this is the video or the graphic that I'm showing. Okay, and yeah, so everyone gets to see this. Same thing. There's a stop share button there. I click on stop share so that people can stop seeing the image or the PowerPoint presentation or the video that I want to share. So it's like that. Okay, on the mobile, on Android version, that's how you do it. Let's talk about iOS. Okay, if you've got an Apple product, an iPad or an iPhone, how do you share screen on a mobile device? Okay, so on iOS, this is what it looks like. Okay, so I was using an iPhone XR. Okay, so this is your Zoom screen. It looks quite similar to your Android screen. Okay, see share content. I touch on share. The same options appear. Right? And the same options, I will choose whichever I want to share, right? I click on it, I touch on it, okay, and then the image appears. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's how you share content using your Android and your iPhone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, it's time for us to get on board the questions. And I love this segment because I'm really seeing some questions coming in. Please ask me questions, okay? So we've got question number 1, okay? How do you add a photo to the profile? Okay, quite easy, okay? Quite easy for you to add photo to the profile. Okay, you need to go to your settings page though. Okay, you need to go to your settings page. I don't have it, I can't demo it to you, right, through this platform, right? But I can roughly tell you where it is. On the top left-hand corner of your Zoom, and when you click on Zoom, there will be this thing called preferences. Okay, click on preferences and go to your account, and there will be one page where, you can put in your profile picture. So that's where you go, okay? You must go to the settings page, to the preferences settings page. You can't access it on your Zoom account. You got to go on the top left-hand corner, right, of your Zoom window and click on it and click on preferences, okay? I would have guides on this. If not, touch base with me and I might be giving you some tips on this as well, okay? Next question, which website to download free virtual video? I think you mean free virtual backgrounds, right? Because free virtual videos is a different thing altogether. Free virtual backgrounds, there are tons of websites out there. Let me tell you, there's no one dedicated website that delivers Zoom virtual backgrounds. You know what has happened is over the past few months, people realize that if virtual backgrounds are fun. So there's been a collection of websites who even made it more fun by creating their own version of virtual background. So that's why when you do a Google search, you can get many. Essentially, a virtual background is just an image. It's just a picture, a JPEG file or a PNG file. It's just an image. You can even have a virtual background of yourself. I've had a couple in my class, right, where they took their wedding picture that they took, right, in 1975. They said they got married in 1975. So they took a wedding picture and they put it as a virtual background. How romantic it is. Because why? A virtual background is essentially a picture file, okay? So my suggestion is you can go to any of the sites on Google, right? Find them. There's no one specific site. Or if you want, you can also create your own virtual backgrounds, okay? Yeah. Okay, Mrs. Wong, I don't see virtual background at all, and also the little icon that you mentioned earlier on. Oh, okay. All right. I can't officially help you, Mrs. Wong. I gotta really see your screen, right? Okay. First question I might want to ask you is: are you using the browser version or the actual ad version? Okay, so those two things might matter. Okay. Okay. All right. Question number 4. So question number 3, so I can't help you out. Maybe get in touch with me. Maybe I'll be able to help you out. Okay. Go to my blog. There's a contact detail. Just drop me. And many of the viewers drop me an email, and I'll give you guys some responses from there. Question number 4. To share content, is it I need? Nope. Not being paying attention. Share content can be used mobiles as well. I've shown you how to use mobile to share content. But of course, when you share it using your laptop, it's so much easier and so many other things that you can share. Okay, so you can use your mobile to share content as I've shown you just a few minutes ago. All right, okay. Number 5, I Zoom on my desktop. How to use it? Okay, that's a very general question. I would say for someone who asked, I Zoom on my desktop, how to use it. Watch our first video to get started. Watch our first video to get started. It's on the NSA website. It's on the C3A Facebook page as well. It's on YouTube also as well, where I talk about fundamentals. So look at that first. Then once you've done once or twice, you use Zoom quite often, then you take a look at this particular webinar. Gives you a bit more advanced function. And by then, it should be okay. I'm not sure that there's a part 3 coming out, but that's what I suggest, okay? All right. How do you put your own photo as virtual background? Very easy, okay? First of all, take a picture of yourself. Make sure it's a good picture, good resolution. You don't have to be grainy, okay? Save it on your desktop, okay? Like how you would save any kind of picture. And, you know, do the virtual background settings that I taught you guys a couple of minutes ago, right? Go to the virtual, go click the plus button, click and find the picture that you've saved on your desktop and click on it, okay? And your picture appears, okay? So that's that. It's as simple as that, right? In fact, yeah, be creative and use your own pictures. That would be quite cool. Selamat Hari Raya Firdaus. Thank you so much, right? Selamat Hari Raya to you as well. Is it possible to add animation in Zoom? Okay, good question. Quite an advanced, this is pretty advanced question, right? So you are definitely a Zoomer, right? And you can add animation in Zoom. There are virtual backgrounds which are animated. Let me tell you, yeah, animated virtual backgrounds, right? I've had a class whereby a learner had a virtual background and they got pixies and fairies flying around, and I got freaked out for a while. I said, whoa, what's happening in your house? And I realized it was a virtual background. You can animate virtual backgrounds. It's called a GIF, GIF, right? You download these things, okay? So you can Google for animated virtual backgrounds and you can download some of them, right? And then you can make your virtual backgrounds look animated, just slight animations, right? It's on repeat, just 3 or 4 seconds. So, sir, if that's what you meant, or ma'am, that's what you meant by animation, okay? Virtual background animations are important. If you're talking about animations on Zoom, like something appears, like for example, as I'm talking right now, right? Maybe like a butterfly appears. Okay, these are extremely advanced functions, okay? Possible, but requires commercial setup. There are software packages you have to buy also as well for that, okay? Yeah. All right, let's go. Question next. Any security concerns using MacBook? Zoom app is not Apple Store in MacBook, but an iPhone Apple Store. You're right, okay. Now, I've been using my Mac all the while I'm using Zoom. There have been no security concerns on the MacBook, so I can assure you that that as well, right? Yes, it is not available on the Apple Store on the Mac, right? It's available in Apple Store on the mobile phone, you know, the iPhone and all. So what I did for all my Zoom Mac is I downloaded it straight from Zoom itself. Zoom support download, it's got a Mac package and I downloaded it. There's no issue so far. It's been perfectly fine. Great. Okay. When 2 or more people sing or play instruments, why does it sound very laggy or out of sync? Okay, cool. Right, whoever you are who asked this question, right, if you've been singing and replaying on Zoom, give us the Zoom link. We want to take a look. It'll be very entertaining. I've been finding people who are playing music over Zoom. I have a couple of friends to do that. A couple of things happen, okay? Number 1, now, even when you watch sometimes in shows, right, you see live, right, elections just a couple of weeks ago, right, then a news reporter will come out and say, okay, we just got something. There is a lag between actual and video. This is inherent in all video streaming services, even in the professional ones. What more in our setup where we've got a normal internet connection and maybe our laptops which are just normal? This kind of lags will occur. Okay, these lags will occur about 1-2 seconds. The poorer your internet bandwidth, the more laggy it gets. Now, you must understand that, you know, there are many things that control this internet bandwidth. You got high resolution video, you got to make sure that your internet is strong enough. If your music is connected to high definition instruments where the sound is clear and crisp, you got to make sure your internet bandwidth, because these are high volume. These things take up a lot of space, right? So that's why sometimes even when you're playing high resolution videos, your internet bandwidth is not strong, you have a lag. There's a bit of a space, right? Similarly also as well to when you're playing music, okay? You won't be able to get it in sync because of a lot of issues like bandwidth and support systems and things like that, right? There's always at minimum still a 0.5 to 1 second lag. So that's the reason. Now, to reduce this, internet bandwidth is important. Make sure you get a good internet bandwidth, or you go, especially if you got Wi-Fi, go to a place where your internet connection is strongest. Number 2 is try to reduce the resolution of what you're sharing so it doesn't take up a lot of internet space. So these are the 2 quick tips that I can give you if you're doing this, okay? Next question. Do I need to sign up when I try to Zoom with different groups? I don't get this question. You need to sign up for Zoom, so you have a Zoom free account. With that Zoom free account, you can create as many Zoom meetings with as many different groups as possible. But know that because you got a free account, each meeting is only limited to 40 minutes. We covered this in our first webinar. I think that's what you're asking. I hope I've answered that question, okay? All right, what is the purpose for share content? Wow, share content is a multifaceted utility tool. First of all, primarily used because I want to share content. In a meeting, if I'm the boss, I want to say, I want to tell you how well all of you have done. I want to show you sales figures, and it shows a PowerPoint slide or shows an Excel spreadsheet of the sales figures. Share content enables someone to present something while speaking. That's the whole point of share content. It can be used in meetings. It's used in learning and classrooms all the time, where teachers or trainers are sharing PowerPoint slides and such, right? In a casual setting, you can share music with each other. You can share videos with each other. So share content is a multifaceted utility. Okay. I tried to schedule Zoom meeting, but errors say I cannot schedule Zoom meeting. Okay. Did you schedule for Zoom? You got to check the dates, the timings. Of course, the dates and timings must be forward-looking. Cannot be after, right, your particular date of trying to schedule. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. I'm not sure, without looking at your account, I'm not sure what else might be wrong, right, about the cannot schedule Zoom meeting. If you've just downloaded the package and you've not done anything to it, and it says I cannot schedule Zoom meeting, I would suggest the old trick of uninstall, install back again. You never know. Sometimes some of these things are not integrated properly. But if that still doesn't help you, get in touch with me. I'd love to answer your questions, okay? All right, I see the background that turned the photo person into a potato. How do I do it? I do not even want to start asking, why do you want to turn yourself into a potato or someone else into a potato, right? Okay, now those are what we call virtual backgrounds, as I mentioned in the earlier question, animated GIF background. So it's possible for you to have some of these animations, okay? And how do people do it? Okay, those people are really pro at it. They create it, they create their GIF. But for the most of us, it's downloadable. So what you can download is what you can Google for is animated virtual backgrounds for Zoom, or animated GIFs for virtual background on Zoom. So those kind of things, right? So it's quite a funny thing out there. There's tons of this kind of very interesting virtual backgrounds. So take a look at some of them, okay? How do you open your PowerPoint in order to share your screen? Well, you open your PowerPoint first. Now, you open your PowerPoint first, okay? Make sure the PowerPoint is open up, and then you go to Zoom, and then you share screen, okay? So the PowerPoint window will automatically be there. Remember the selection of windows? As long as your PowerPoint is open, it will be there. So select on the PowerPoint that you want. You can have 3 PowerPoints up, and there will be 3 PowerPoint windows that is going to be given to you. So click and select the one that you want, okay? So that's how you do it. Okay, any difference using Zoom or Spotify? Okay, yes. Spotify is a music streaming application. You use Spotify to play music, right? You use Zoom for video conferencing. Zoom is not, right, a music streaming device. It's a video conferencing. We talk, we speak to each other, but I can't play music on Zoom. I can play music on Spotify and share it on Zoom. You guys get it, right? But Spotify is so these are 2 different services altogether, okay? When one plays guitar and sings at the same time, will Zoom pick up both sounds or prioritize voice over guitar sound? Very good question, very technical. Now, it will come from one device. If I've got a mic, that mic picks up whatever sound goes through it, whichever sound is louder, right? If my voice is louder than my guitar, then my mic will pick up my sound. my voice. If my guitar is louder than my voice, then it'll pick up the guitar. So that's why for more professional setups, you've got two mics. One for guitar, one for voice, and they connect it to a mixer, right? But that's too technical. So for a one mic setup, right, it will just pick up whatever is playing. Okay, so proximity is also very important as well, right? Some people, when they play the guitar, they put the guitar right in front and they speak it, but you got one mic. Obviously, the guitar sound is going to overshadow your voice. Some people, maybe they put their guitar at the side and then they have their voice. Obviously, your voice is going to overshadow your guitar. So you got to play around with these kind of things, especially if you got a one mic setup. Okay. All right, 17, in MacBook, when we want to download the Zoom link, will it change the security setup in OS? Okay, yeah, it will always ask you for preferences and permission before it changes the security setup. It will not change security settings by itself. So one of the more common ones when you download Zoom package on MacBook, it says, oh, Zoom needs to access your mic, give it permission. It always will ask for permission, right? It won't automatically change the security settings, okay? And of course, when you download Zoom on your MacBook, there are a couple of security settings that you need to tweak and change in order for Zoom to work on your Mac, okay? All right, how do you host a Zoom? Okay, watch my first webinar. We covered that, right? How do you host a Zoom? We covered on how to host a Zoom in my first webinar. So check that out, okay? Available on the C3A Facebook page. Is it possible to fix a person's visual in a particular place in the multi-screen view? You can't. The person's visual is the person's visual. That means how he looks is dependent on the camera that he has. Now, if he switches off his camera, right, you can only ask him for, you can prompt him and say, can you switch on? You can't switch a person's camera on by yourself. They'll be quite scary, okay? But so that's one. So the person's visual is really dependent on him. Now, if you're talking about visual, what you are seeing, right? What you're seeing. Now, positioning of pictures on your gallery page on Zoom, you can't change that. That's automatically decided by the computer, right? Individual, right? You can decide whether you want to pin the guy. Pin means you got one picture there, or you want to spotlight the person. That means whenever the person is speaking, the picture appears. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. But in terms of like changing the person's visuals from where you are, you won't be able to do that. Okay. Can I use a Zoom on smart TV? Okay, now so that particular question is interesting. Okay, so I've used Zoom on a smart TV in Hari Raya, in the last Hari Raya, the one where we had circuit breaker and I can't visit my parents, right? Yeah, so I connected my laptop to my smart TV. Now, on the smart TV itself, some of you guys got Samsung smart TV and things like that. We do not have a Zoom app yet. They're working on it. Zoom is working on the device now, right? But you don't have. Your best bet is to connect your TV to your laptop. Okay, so your laptop can be connected to your TV via your HDMI cable or via VGA cable. You connect it there, right? And then then you can screen your Zoom on your smart TV. But directly on the smart TV without your laptop, you can't. Okay. All right, okay, I'm going to answer this last question. How do you hide your photo if you do not want to appear in Zoom meeting? Just mute your video. Mute your video and they won't be able to see you. They'll be seeing either your name or a picture that you have uploaded of yourself. So there's that. That's how you hide yourself if you do not want to appear in the Zoom meeting. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, right? I hope I've answered your questions, right? Please keep the questions coming as well. I will be taking a look at the Facebook page and, like in my first webinar, and might be taking on some of these questions individually, all right? Okay, now, with that said, okay, this is the e-nugget series, and you can find such like talks. I've been discovering this e-nugget series myself as well, interesting stuff, right? Bite-sized pieces, and you can find a lot of useful tips, right, at your own pace and convenience. Okay, so share, right, all these things to your friends and family members if you find that this talk is useful. Okay, personally, when it comes to Zoom, connect with me. I can be found on www.firsalim.com/blog. That's where I have all the Zoom resources, connect with me there, right? I've got my email address as well. I've got some participants from my first webinar who's been emailing me, and I hope that I've answered each and every one of your emails, okay? And of course, if you got any problems, right, or anything that you want to ask with regards to, the National Silver Academy and all the learning programs are available, call this number, 478-5029, right? Or check out their Facebook page, C3A, and the NSA Facebook page for anyone who's above 50 and want to engage in any form of learning. All right. So there's that, ladies and gentlemen. I can almost smell my mom's rendang by now, right? Almost there, right? I think it's ready, and I think it's time for me to sign off on this webinar. Okay. Happy weekend, everyone. Happy long weekend, everyone. Everyone, each and every one of you, stay safe. Take care. Hope to see you guys soon, and have a fantastic day ahead. Firdaus signing off. See you guys.